Okay. Let's start with A. Okay, so I guess we'll start with just callouts. So, um, a lot of the time you're gonna hear defender side spawn here. You're gonna hear this called CT. CT is a term that transfers from Counter-Strike. It means counter-terrorist. That's the side that always defends Counter-Strike, and so that's why people call this area CT. So if you hear somebody's calling enemies in CT, that's just the vague way of saying they're somewhere around the spawn side of the map somewhere. So somewhere on this side in the spawn, like hallway of some sort. That's when they're calling CT. Okay. This is heaven up here. This is a pretty universal term for most maps, both Valorant and CSGO. This is essentially the highest point looking over site, a bomb site. So this is A side heaven right here. A lot of the time, sometimes you'll have a little part that goes out. Sometimes people will call that catwalk or rafters. That's not really that big of a deal though, because if somebody's holding here, you can just call heaven. If they're just up here in general, and you know they are, calling somebody being in heaven is super crucial. This here, this is default box. Default box, most bomb sites have a default box on them. Default box is really just like the site that, or the part of the site that is by default planted on most of the time. This is where you plant most of the time, unless you're doing a strat where you're planting on a corner or truck, or it's like a 1v2 and you need to plant somewhere safe or something like that. But most of the time, a lot of people will plant here on what we call default box. This is truck for obvious reasons. Truck is a super popular place to plant as well, especially if you have a sage. Sage can wall off this entire section right here, meaning that if anybody's anywhere in the back of the site here, they can't get to you while you're planting on truck. Truck is a super popular place to plant. This here, this is called pocket. So if anybody's calling pocket, this is where it is. It's right to the right of this little double box thing right here. This is a super popular place to hold on CT, because you can watch a short, you can see if somebody snuck into U-Haul, you can watch if if the bomb is planted on truck, anything like that. It's kind of dangerous though, just because utility can be really easily spammed here, like raise grenades and shit. This is U-Haul. Some people call it lamps because that's what it's actually called on the map here, so a lamps. But people from Alpha, before these names got put in, were just calling this U-Haul because it's in the shape of. U-Haul is also a really popular place for people to hold CT at the start of the game, because you can watch this little section right here. Speaking of this little section, this is called a short. Most bomb sites are going to have a short corridor and a long corridor that lead to it. This is the A short corridor leading up to the site. And then A long, I guess you could call this over here A long, but nobody really calls it that. But anyway, this is the A short corridor, and this is the A short cubby. So a lot of the time you're going to hear people calling cubby places. Cubbies are usually just little outlets in the wall right here where you can kind of hide. So a lot of the time if somebody's hiding out here trying to attack, you can call, oh, they're in A short. This is teleporter. This is showers. I think it's called baths on the map. Yeah, it's called bath on the map, but everybody calls it showers because it's just a bathroom. There's an old torb here. Showers is a pretty popular place for attackers to come in and rush. So I mean, having one person on CT watching this is usually pretty smart. Back here, you have outside showers. Showers teleporter. This is actually from the entry to this teleporter is on the other side of the map on B site, outside B. And then this is kind of just T-spawn area. T meaning terrorists from Counter-Strike. Not a lot of like, I mean, you could call this lobby over here, but nobody really that way. You kind of just say like, outside showers, T-spawn area, yada yada. That's cave. Obviously. That is the actual T-spawn right there. That's where the terrorists or the attacking side spawns over there. This is a short still. When they're holding here and trying to peek your corners and push here, this is still a. Starting in here, we're going to start connecting over to the bomb sites now. This is market. This whole section is market. So from here all the way through here, this is market. So if somebody's saying they're wrapping to A through market, they're coming. This right here is mid. Some people call it B short, but most people just call it mid. It's not technically in the middle of the map, but it's just fucking how it got called. I don't know. I don't know why, but this got considered mid, and so it is. These are the mid double boxes here. This is the mid teleporter. So this is the exit to the one that I showed you over here. This bad boy here is called hookah. There's not actually any like hookah like that you can smoke in here. Maybe that, but it's just called hookah because it looks like Middle Eastern, I guess. I don't really know if that's why, but I'm guessing. Anyway, so this is hookah. Hookah is a very popular place for defenders to hold because a lot of the time attackers will run up mid and try to push through hookah onto the side over here. This is, I guess, hookah window or window, whatever you want to call it. This is the bomb site. So, like I said, a lot of times you'll have a short corridor and a long corridor that lead up to a site. B on bind has that. So mid into hookah, that would be the short corridor onto B bomb site. Then over here we have B long. There's no fancy name for it. It's literally just long. That's what it's called. There's an ult orb here as well. These are the two ult orbs that you can get kind of at the start of the game if you can like make sure this is. This right here is called garden for obvious reasons. There's a bunch of plants and shit everywhere. Garden is pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious when people are in garden if they're not shift walking because it makes a super obvious wood sound. So a lot of the time you'll know if you're holding somewhere like back here or in the front of the site, you'll know they're in garden if not walking because it's really loud. This is the entrance to that teleporter I showed you over on the showers side. That's this one right here. This, I guess you could consider the B site double boxes. People will hold back here sometimes because it's a little safer to peek hookah and maybe garden. This, a lot of people are just calling this crate. Calling it box is kind of confusing for some people. I've heard it called box, but like these are usually the things you refer to as boxes. So like this is usually just crate. Like inside crate, front of crate. And then here, if they're chilling back here, another universal term that I guess I didn't show on a site is something called backsite. So when you call for backsite, that just means they're in the back of the site right here. So they're on the bomb site, but in the back. So that's backsite, inside crate. This here, I think earlier I talked about cubbies. So this is the B cubby right here. So this is another really popular place for people to hold because you can safely peek garden and long here and then peek hookah as well. Pretty popular place to hold. This, it's called back hall. This is the hall in the behind backsite. This is a really, really strong place. If you can have control of back hall, you pretty much own the site because let's say attackers get the site and start planting. If they have control of this, it is almost damn near impossible for the defenders to get over here and push onto the site or through back hall. It's really fucking difficult. After you come out of back hall, right here, this little section is called elbow. Elbow is another pretty common term in most sites. A lot of sites have an elbow. It's just like an L-shaped little fucking corner that you can hold. Elbow's another really popular place to hold. It's a super popular place to hold if the attacking side has already started their push onto the site because it's a safe way to peek people coming out of hookah and the people coming out of garden without being at too much risk. So it's just a really popular place to hold, and if you can kill whoever's here or just take control of this, it's pretty great because then you kind of also have control of back hall. So that is B site. You could also call this default box, I guess, if you wanted to. This here, because a lot of people will just plant right here and then call it a day. This is fountain. So that's long corridor, and then here is fountain. So if you spot somebody back here, but they haven't actually put up to the corridor, yeah, you'd probably call fountain. Oh, hey, I spotted one fountain. Okay. I think that's all the callouts. Did I miss any callouts? Angles that you always want to hold. You definitely want to have somebody watching A short. At least one person watching A short. Where that is, it kind of just depends on how the person plays. Popular place would be U-Haul. U-Haul is a really great place to peek, kind of pre-fire these angles, and then watch to see if they're coming A short. That being said, a lot of people will spam U-Haul with utility really fast. So a lot of fucking raises and like brimstones will just throw their mollies and grenades and shit into U-Haul to flush out whoever's here. So holding U-Haul is good. It's nice, especially because if you fall back, you can just wait for them to push up here. But it just gets spammed with utility a lot. You can hold pocket. Pocket's also really dangerous because there's not an easy way to get out of pocket without showing yourself to a short. So holding pocket is usually dangerous. When people come around here, you have a pretty good jump on them when they hit this. Especially because if one person's holding pocket and the attackers are holding here, they're either going to be checking the site for people, like, you know, checking these corners, and then you can headshot them from here, or they have to swing all the way here to check you, and your teammate can kill. So pocket's nice, it's just a little risky. Some people will actually hold between like default box and truck sometimes, because this gives you a lot of range of motion to move around. You can hold showers here, you can swing back and hold a short here, and you're not in a terrible position that you can't back up and stay safe, like if you're pocket or U-Haul. A lot of the time, especially if you hear them coming showers, people will chill right here, possibly even here, or if you're somebody like Jet or Omen on the second one up, and just hold waiting for people to rush through the showers so you can just get free kills on them. A safer place to play would be back in the cubby, back here, back site. This way, like if you're playing, let's say your friend, you're only doing 2 on A and somebody dies really early, you can play back here. That way you don't risk yourself also dying, and you can kind of let them push up and wait for the team to rotate. And then Heaven is also a really popular place to hold as well. Heaven is awesome if you have long range weapons, because long range weapons can kill A short and showers, and you're not in a lot of danger here. You easily back here and not die, or go back there to CT. The only thing with Heaven is that a lot of people like Brimstone, who play like Brimstone, Omen, or even Jet, will smoke off Heaven because they know that somebody's probably going to be watching. That's the only thing about Heaven. If you do get smoked off, most of the time, unless they're rushing, you can probably wait out the smoke, or if you want to, you know, get into the action, come down to CT and then hold this angle and dead. Cool. That's A. Really quick, we'll do B. B's not as bad. There's not as many angles to hold in B. I think I already kind of talked about it before. When holding hookah, depending on what weapon you have, if it's like pistol rounds or holding a short weapon like this or a shotgun, a lot of people will hold here because they really have to commit through hookah to actually kill you. Popular place. Here is nice too because a lot of people just don't expect it, so they swing around expecting somebody here, so they swing, kill them. A lot of people will just hold behind this box here. They can not be seen or come up and headshot or whatever. Some people even hold this. I don't like holding this because this is wall bangable. So if somebody just pre-fires this just cause they're feeling it, you can just take damage for no reason. Sucks. Cubby, popular place to hold. Like I said, you can hold long, watch hookah as they swing or come on the site. Back site, not too bad. Gives you some range. People will flush out backside with utility sometimes, so watch for that. That was an accident. Like I said before, double box is a good place. Double box, moving back to backside is also pretty good, like rotations. So just kind of holding this area here is nice. That way you can kind of fall back and wait for the team to rotate if somebody else gets picked. Some people will actually hold like this pocket here. If you're somebody like Omen or Jet, theoretically you could either TP or dash over here and hold this off angle while they come up. That's also a possibility. But most of the time, you're going to see in hookah in those areas, cubby, rotating around backside, or like I said before, elbow is also really nice to hold because you can hide yourself from long and watch hookah, or if hookah's clear, you can unpeek long, which is also. I don't think I missed anything. Oh, cool. And if the class doesn't have any questions, I think we'll with some ranked.